So this video is a documentation really of my Go Duke of Edinburgh expedition experience, which happened in August 2020, and we did our expedition in the Lake District. So in this first clip, I am just showing you my tent and everything that was in there. It was a bit of a mess, but yeah, in the next clip I am showing you my Wayfair food packages that we ordered. So it was my first time dealing with Wayfair. In the past expeditions that I've done, I've normally just got random food from different supermarkets, like long-lasting food. But this time my friend recommended Wayfair to me, and she said like in her past experience she enjoyed the food. So I thought, okay, this is a great idea. I'm gonna try this because it will make my life so much easier than getting loads of different food from different supermarkets. So yeah, so I ordered chocolate pudding, some sticky toffee pudding, chili con carne, steak and vegetables, chicken curry with potato and rice, chicken tikka and rice, and then all day breakfast. And I really enjoyed it, and I definitely recommend Wayfair. The bags are really heavy, so getting pre-packaged food is a great idea. On the first night I had chicken tikka, and then before that we had to get everything together. We had to get all the maps done ready for the first day. We didn't actually do them like we were supposed to, which we got in a bit of trouble about, but our supervisor, he was really good and he mapped out what we were supposed to do. So in terms of sleeping the first night, I didn't have a comfortable night at all, because where we were sleeping was very rocky and there were a lot of stingers. And it was kind of going up the mountain, so it wasn't flat ground. So yeah, sleeping was very uncomfortable, but we just had to do what we had to do, and I'm kind of doing things in a backwards order, but it is what it is. So we were a team of 6, as you can see by the tents. I knew 2 of the other girls, but the other 3 girls, we didn't know each other at all, but we all came from the same city. So yeah, for the first day we had to go from Plantation Bridge to Green Quarter, and it was a 15-kilometer hike. It wasn't easy at all, but whoever said Duke of Edinburgh is easy, it's a very, very difficult and challenging experience. So the weather was trash the first day. It was rainy, it was foggy, it was windy, so it was just a hot mess. We were kind of slow in our walking. It was more the 3 of us, the 3 girls that I knew, we were slower, and the other 3 girls that were very fast. So we managed to get to where we were supposed to go, but we were quite slow. We got lost at one point, which you can see in the clip, but we figured it out. We looked at the map again and kind of rerouted and found our way. So yeah, we made it to the campsite. This campsite actually had a shower. It wasn't an actual campsite, but let's just say it was. So yeah, we had a shower, got ourselves cleaned up, set up camp again, because every time you go to a new campsite you have to set up your campsite. Hence why you have the bag. The bag literally has everything that you will need for the 4 days. So yeah, we set up for camp, had our dinner. I think this night I had steak and vegetables. After that we rested. This night I still didn't sleep that well, and this time there were quite a few sheep burrowing away, so it was a bit noisy, but slept, woke up, put our tents back down and put them in our bags and stuff, had our breakfast, and then got ready for our walk from Green Quarter to Sykeside. And this day it was a 20-kilometer hike. It started off really well, we were working well together, because the previous day we had a discussion with our supervisor, and we were saying we weren't working well as a team, and basically our supervisor told us that we needed to do better and we needed to have better communication and tell each other what was going on in regarding to the map reading, because I wasn't a good map reader, and the other 2 girls weren't good map readers as well, and just communication in general, it was quite poor. So yeah, we decided that this day we were going to try and do better, but actually it kind of flopped. So yeah, like I said, we started off really well. The weather was really good. Around 12, I think, we had our lunch. And then because we were going up most of the morning, we had to now descend. And this day it was a lot of ascending and descending up and down the mountains. So yeah, we were really high up the mountain, and now we had to descend. And the way it was set up, it was like a very steep and very rocky descent. So it was very dangerous because of how slippery the rocks were. And
that's good.
So all the other girls, they started to walk down, and me, I was like behind everyone. So I don't think I clocked that it was going to be a really rocky descent. So I was kind of taking my time a little bit, and then I realized, oh gosh, like this is quite dangerous. And in my mind, I was thinking, if I make one wrong move, yeah, I'm going to slip, I'm going to hit my head, and I'm going to literally roll down the mountain and either really hurt myself or die or something. So I was thinking this year, and then I realized that all the girls, majority of the girls, were already down this mountain. They were like kind of sitting down and kind of looking up at me. And there was one other girl that was close to me, and I asked her to like stay behind, like slow down a bit and kind of just help me out. So she stayed, and she tried to call the other girls to kind of come and help, but by that point, like, everybody had already made their way down. So it was a every man for himself, so a survival of the fittest type of situation. So eventually, like, I made my way down, but I was up that mountain for a good half an hour, maybe even 40 minutes. It was a long time that I was up there struggling to get down. And while I was up there, I could see that some of the girls were starting to move on, like they were starting to go up the mountain again. And I was just thinking to myself, if anything happens to me right now, if I hurt myself, like, what are you guys gonna tell the supervisors? Like, do you know what I mean? But yeah, they started to move on. So yeah, eventually I made it down, and I was very, very emotional at this point. I was very, very upset, and I realized, like, this part of the hike was very dangerous again, because we literally had to climb up these huge rocks to get to the top of the other mountain that we were supposed to start hiking onto now. Yeah, so if you've done bouldering or rock climbing, it's similar to that. But with bouldering and with rock climbing, it's safe in a way because you have a harness, or you're in a safer environment. Whereas this was literally in the middle of nowhere, and we are climbing over these huge rocks, and if you make one wrong move, you literally hurt yourself. But yeah, the company that we did it with had sent over one of the supervisors to come and watch us while we did this, just to make sure everyone was safe. And whilst we were doing it, whilst I was climbing over these huge rocks, she was asking me if I was okay, and I told her, like, I'm too upset to talk right now. But yeah, we managed to get over that bit. So we got to the top of the mountain, of that huge rocky mountain, and then it was flat again. So we started to make our way to campsite. And then we walked with the supervisor for a bit, but then we parted ways. So yeah, we started walking again, and we were ascending, and it was quite difficult because it was foggy again, it was rainy again, so the weather was just rubbish. And we were descending and ascending, and then the girls with the maps, they realized that we had taken a wrong path. But we were like, nah, it's okay, let's just keep going, maybe we'll find a path. And then eventually we realized, like, there was no path, so we had to walk all the way back. So we were descending, so we had to walk all the way back up the mountain. By this time, it was like around 4 or 5, so we were tired, like it was coming up to the end of the day, because normally we do an 8-hour day from 9 till 5. But yeah, so we started going up. The other girls were really fast, and they found a path, but again, it was very dangerous because we were very, very high up the mountain. Like, just think of the highest mountain that you've either climbed or you've just come across. Like, when you're driving, sometimes you come across really high mountains, and that's basically what we had to deal with on that day. So when you're high up a mountain, sometimes you look down to see what's going on down. And sometimes that just gives you butterflies. Like, this was literally us. Like, I was trying not to look down because I was thinking, if I look down, yeah, I'm just going to start having a panic attack again. So it turns out, like, that the path that we were supposed to follow was down this high mountain, and it was going down the side. So, yeah, the other girls had already started going down. And at this point, we were all panicking. Well, I wasn't panicking as much as the other three girls. They were panicking because it was getting late. Like I said, it was around 5 at this point, and then it gets dark in the summer around 8, and we had no idea where we were. Like, we could see the camp when we were at the top of the mountain, and we could see that it was still quite far. So we kind of knew where we were, but we were still so far from it. So the other girls, they were very worried that we were not going to make it to camp on time, and they were worried that it's going to start to get dark now because it's 5 and time just goes so quickly. So they were telling us to hurry up. So me and the other girl, we were behind, and they were telling us to hurry up, and then they started to make their way down. And they were literally sliding down this mountain, sliding down. Oh, this is by far the most dangerous thing that I've had to do. So yeah, I just followed suit, started sliding down the mountain, sliding down the mountain, and then I was helping the other girl to kind of like walk around, find where to put her feet, because like I said before, if you make one wrong move, you will literally tumble down the mountain. And the thing is, we have these huge bags here, so if you kind of like heel over, the bag would take you down. So we had to be extra careful because of the bag. And I think like I lost my ball up the mountain, sliding down that mountain, and my other friend, she like lost something of hers as well while she was coming down. So eventually, like, I managed to get down, but the other girl, she was behind me, and she was trying to find her footing because it was very grassy. So you had to, if you weren't sliding, you had to find places to walk really carefully, and as well as being grassy, it was very rocky as well. So you just had to be careful where you put your foot to come down the mountain. So yeah, I was helping her to walk, and then eventually I made it to the other girls that were waiting and looking at us, and then all kind of telling this girl to hurry up a bit, because if we didn't make it to camp on time, it meant that we had to wild camp, and this was literally the middle of nowhere, and we were like in a very dangerous place. Like, we did not feel safe there, so wild camping was just not an option. So we were telling her to hurry up a bit, and she misplaced her footing and she twisted her ankle. But we're like, no, like, babe, we need to get there. Like, there was literally nothing else for us to do because wild camping was just not an option. So yeah, she continued walking, and then she made it to where we were. But then, because we still had to walk quite a bit, we could see the camp now, but we still had to walk quite a bit, and she misplaced her footing again, and then she twisted her foot again. And then by this time, I think it was now 7. So the color of the sky was starting to change. But yeah, we kept walking. And then she was now much slower because she twisted her ankle. But the thing is, we're supposed to work as a team, but we couldn't stay to help her as much because we were trying to get to where we were getting to. And the other girls, they were just walking really, really fast. So she just couldn't maintain the speed that the other girls were at. Eventually, the supervisor, he came and met us because obviously they were worried about where we were because we were very late and it was getting dark. So they sent one of our supervisors to come and help us, and he helped us to get where we were supposed to get to. And they helped the girl that had twisted her ankle to walk. Like, they swapped bags so that she didn't have a heavier bag, and eventually we made it to the camp. So by this time, all the other people that were doing their Duke of Edinburgh, they had already set up camp. They were already in bed because we were supposed to be in bed for 9. So yeah, we literally had to rush, cook our food, eat our food, and then we found out that, the other girl that had twisted her ankle, she couldn't continue on, which was really, really sad because we'd already made it halfway by this point. But just because of the poor teamwork, the poor communication, the poor navigation, this girl, she now couldn't complete. mountain to climb this morning. All the joys. Came down that yesterday. The joys. So yeah, we slept, and this night we slept in a valley because we've been climbing up all these mountains here, all these 825 meters high mountains here. And yeah, this night we slept on a campsite that was between mountains, so we slept in a valley, and it was so windy. I was so paranoid because I thought someone was going to come into my tent, and I kept waking up a few times during the night. But then I would realize that it was just the wind doing the most, and I would go back to sleep. But yeah, the wind was mad. And then we woke up, and it was a beautiful morning. We had a team meeting. Every morning we aim to wake up at 6 o'clock, so that we would be out of the campsite and ready walking by 8 o'clock. So this day we woke up at 6, and our supervisor wanted us to meet with him at 7 so that we could discuss what had happened the previous day. So yeah, we got up, we spoke to him, we told him about the poor teamwork. I told him that how scared I'd been at the top of the mountain when everyone had kind of left and only one of the girls was helping me, and the poor navigation as well. And he said, you're not going to fail because you didn't get to the campsite on time. You're going to fail because you're not working well as a team. You're not communicating well. So we were relieved because we genuinely thought that because we had arrived at the campsite at 8 when we were supposed to get there at 5 or 6, it was reasons for fail, but no, it wasn't. So the aim for this day now was to just have really good teamwork, have really good navigation, and good communication. And yeah, it really showed through in those last 2 days because our teamwork improved so much. Like at times where I was feeling weak and I was feeling tired, like the whole group just stopped and helped me. We also had me walking at the front so that I was kind of leading the pace of the group instead of me being at the back behind everybody and slowing people down. And that worked much better. The third night we did our presentation, and we just told our perspectives on how we were all finding our God Duke of Edinburgh. And yeah, this day I cried. I cried during the little discussion that we had prior to the presentation. And we all pretty much agreed that if we had not had that bad day, that really terrible day, we wouldn't have had the good teamwork that we had on that third day. So in a way, it kind of worked out for the best. It was unfortunate that one of our team members got hurt, but if it wasn't for that, then we wouldn't have experienced the teamwork and the love that we had for each other by day 4. Yeah. Yeah, so we did the presentation as well. We had our dinner, tents were set up, and yeah, we went to sleep. And by the way, for our presentation, we did a story. So we just did a day 1 summary, day 2 summary, day 3 summary, and day 4 we didn't have to because obviously we hadn't started the day 4 yet. But we slept well. When we woke up, it was raining really, really, really heavy. So we just tried to get everything done quick so that we could start walking. And it was last day as well, so we wanted to get to the finish point at a decent time. So the last day the ground was majority flat, so it was much easier, but it was still very, very painful for me for my foot. But the group was still really encouraging, as I mentioned before, and we managed to get there at around 3 o'clock. We were still the last group, but 3 o'clock is better than 5. Do you get what I mean? So overall, I would say Duke of Edinburgh is a really, really difficult experience, and it's not for people who aren't determined, people who don't want to work hard, people that don't want to put in the work, because yeah, it will really push you to your limit. So yeah, if you want to do your goal Duke of Edinburgh, try to do things straight away. because me and the other two girls from Birmingham, we did our practice expedition in 2016, and then we did our actual in 2020. So it was four years in between, which is not good because we were just slowing our team down. Like the rest of the three girls, they had done their practice 2 weeks before, so they were really active. They knew what they were doing, but because we had done it 4 years ago, we were really lacking in a lot of ways. But yeah, eventually we got there in it. So yeah, that's what I recommend. Only do Duke of Edinburgh if you know and you're sure that you want to do it. Because if you know that you want to do it, then you'll put the work in to get to the finishing line. Do you get it? But yeah, man, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And once again, I recommend the Wayrer packages. They're so good, especially the dessert. But yeah, love. God bless. Bye.